PC24 ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ 'ਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਮੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਚੀਮਾ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਹਾਂ। ਆਪਾਂ 10:30 ਤੋਂ 11:30 ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਮਾਰਨੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸਾਡਾ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ YouTube ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਲਿੰਕਡਇਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਟਵਿੱਟਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਫੇਸਬੁੱਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ PC24 ਇੱਕ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਉੱਥੇ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਇੱਕੋ ਟਾਈਮ 'ਤੇ ਨਸ਼ਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ YouTube ਚੈਨਲ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ PC24-RETV ਹੈ, ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ, ਲਾਈਕ ਕਰੋ। ਇੱਕ ਟੱਲੀ ਜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦਬਾ ਦਿਓ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਜਾਈਏ, ਨਵਾਂ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਅਪਲੋਡ ਕਰੀਏ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਲਰਟ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਵੇ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਈ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ। ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ 'ਚ ਕਾਲ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਫੋਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ 2 ਨੰਬਰਾਂ 'ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਹੈ, 647 956 1020, 647 815 18, 647 956 1020, 647 800 1518 ਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਉਣ ਨੂੰ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਿਹਾ, ਬੜੇ ਹੀ ਉਤਸੁਕ ਹਾਂ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ ਓਨੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਨੌਲੇਜ ਇਕੱਠੀ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲੂਗਾ, ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਇੰਪਰੂਵ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲੂਗਾ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਹੋਰ ਵਧੀਆ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣ ਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਬਬ ਬਣੂਗਾ। ਸਿਰਫ 3 ਦਿਨ ਤੇ 13 ਘੰਟੇ ਰਹਿ ਗਏ ਜੀ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਮਸ ਨੂੰ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੱਜਣ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਮਸ ਦਾ ਤਿਉਹਾਰ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਾਂ ਜੀ। ਹੌਲੀਡੇ ਸੀਜ਼ਨ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਡਰਿੰਕ ਐਂਡ ਡਰਾਈਵ ਦੇ ਬੜੇ ਕੇਸ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਕੋਲ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ। ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਮੁਹਿੰਮ ਵੀ ਚਲਾਈ ਹੈ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੁਝ ਨੰਬਰ ਵੀ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਟਵਿੱਟਰ 'ਤੇ ਪੀਲ ਰੀਜਨਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੀ ਟਵੀਟ ਦੇਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਡੋਂਟ ਡਰਿੰਕ ਐਂਡ ਡਰਾਈਵ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋਸਟ ਹੋ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰੋਂ ਕਿ ਡਰਿੰਕ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੱਡੀ 'ਚ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਚਲਾ ਗਿਆ, know that you are responsible for anything that may happen। ਸੋ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰੋ, ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਗੈਸਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਗੱਡੀ ਚਲਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਕੈਪੇਬਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ, ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਰੱਖ ਲਵੋ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਕੈਬ ਕਰਾ ਦਿਓ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਅਤ ਘਰ ਪਹੁੰਚਦਾ ਕਰੋ। ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ, ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਰਾਈਡ ਮੁਹੱਈਆ ਕਰਵਾ ਸਕਣ। ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਜਨਮ ਦਿਨ ਤੇ ਐਨੀਵਰਸਰੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਕਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਲੋਜ਼ਿੰਗਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 'ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਢੁਕਵੀਂ ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਅਤ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਜੀ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੀਮਾ ਵੱਲੋਂ, PC24 ਦੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਟੀਮ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਲੱਖ ਲੱਖ ਮੁਬਾਰਕਬਾਦ ਹੋਵੇ। ਸਾਡੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੁੜਨਗੇ ਅਮਰਿਤ ਸੁਰਾ ਜੀ ਫਰੋਮ ਐਬਟਸਫੋਰਡ BC। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਹੋਰ ਕੁਝ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਸੋਸਾਇਟੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਆਮ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ, ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਅਸੀਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਰਾਏ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਲਿਟਰਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਬੜੀ ਸੀਰੀਅਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਬਣਦੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਲਿਟਰਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਸੀਨੀਅਰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਬਿਲ ਗੌਡਫਰੇ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਅਭਿਆਨ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਗਰੁੱਪ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਪੀਪਲ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ ਲਿਟਰਿੰਗ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਲਿਟਰਿੰਗ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਾਫ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ। ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵਲੰਟੀਅਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕੋ ਸੁਨੇਹਾ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਨੂੰ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਲਿਟਰ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਕਰਨਾ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਦਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ। ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਿਟਰਿੰਗ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ ਜਾਂ ਜੇ ਲਿਟਰਿੰਗ ਹੋਈ ਦਿਖਦੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਾਫ਼ ਕਰ ਲਵੋ, ਤਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੇਜਰ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਸਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਹੋਣ ਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਇਹ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਿਟੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਮੁਹੱਈਆ ਕਰਵਾ ਸਕੇਗੀ। ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰੀ ਸਮਝੋ, ਅੱਖਾਂ ਬਚਾ ਕੇ ਕਿਸ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਠ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਗਾਰਬੇਜ ਪਾਣਾ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਤੇ ਪਲਾਜ਼ਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਦੁਕਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਠੀਕ ਨਹੀਂ। ਐਨੀਵੇਜ਼ ਜੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਦੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਸੋਚ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਇਹ ਸੋਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਸ਼ੈਰੀ ਕਾਰਟਰ ਸਕਾਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ। ਸ਼ੈਰੀ ਕਾਰਟਰ ਸਕਾਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਜੀ, ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਬਿਹੇਵੀਅਰਲ ਸਾਇੰਟਿਸਟ ਹੈ, ਲੀਡਰ ਨੇ ਜੀ, ਐਂਡ ਨੰਬਰ 1 ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਟਾਈਮਜ਼ ਐਂਡ ਐਮਾਜ਼ਨ ਬੈਸਟ ਸੈਲਿੰਗ ਆਥਰ ਨੇ। ਮਾਸਟਰ ਸਰਟੀਫਾਈਡ coach by ICF International Coach Federation and a PhD in OD. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. And her signature book, If Life is a Game, There Are the Rules, translated into 40 languages and sold over 5 million copies worldwide. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਿਕੀਪੀਡੀਆ ਤੇ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਡਾਕਟਰ ਸ਼ੈਰੀ ਇਜ਼ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਿਵ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਿਊਸਰ ਐਂਡ ਫੀਚਰਡ ਔਨ ਕੈਮਰਾ coach of Leap documentary on coaching and a frequent guest on Oprah Winfrey's show. Dr. Sherry is the writer, composer and lyricist of the workshop A Dress Rehearsal for Life musical and the author of 19 book title. She has trained thousands of executives and life coaches, corporate executives in Fortune 500 companies, and has been the global CEO of MMS Worldwide Institute since 1974, training coach globally, now fully online. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ the mother of coaching 1974 ਤੋਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਕਿਆ ਬਾਤ ਹੈ। From 1974 she is known as the mother of coaching. ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਂਝ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਇੱਕ ਥੋੜ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਆ ਕਿ anger makes you smaller while forgiveness forces you to grow beyond what you were. ਗੁੱਸਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਛੋਟਾ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ 'ਚ ਹੀਨ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਵੀ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਪਰਾਂ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਪਰਾਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੱਡਾ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਆ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਐਕਸੈਪਟ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਕਿ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਦਾ ਰਾਈਟ ਥਿੰਗ। ਇਹੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਲੋਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੱਡੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਯਾਰ ਤੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਯਾਰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਿਲ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ। ਇਟਸ ਦ ਮੋਸਟ ਡਿਫਿਕਲਟ ਟਾਸਕ। ਆਪਣੇ ਗੁੱਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਬੂ ਕਰਨਾ, ਫਿਰ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਖਿਲਾਫ ਵਾਇਓਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ, ਇਟਸ ਇਜ਼ ਨੋਟ ਈਜ਼ੀ। ਬਟ ਸੈਲੂਟ ਟੂ ਮੈਨੀ ਪੀਪਲ who have mastered the art of forgiving people. ਸੋ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਕੋਟ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਚੰਗਾ ਸਬਕ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਜਾਏਗੀ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਬਹੁਤਾ ਇੰਪਰੂਵ ਕਰੇਗੀ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ 'ਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ 647 956 1020 647 815 18। ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਕੱਲ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਮੁਹਾਵਰੇ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ, ਕਦੋਂ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਮੁਹਾਵਰਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆ, ਕੁੱਛੜ ਕੁੜੀ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਢਿੰਡੋਰਾ। ਇਹਦਾ ਕੀ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ, ਇਹਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜਵਾਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਣ ਲਈ 647 815 18 ਤੇ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੇ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ 647 956 1020 ਤੇ ਵੀ ਕਾਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਸੋ ਕੁੱਛੜ ਕੁੜੀ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਢਿੰਡੋਰਾ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰਚਲਿਤ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਮੁਹਾਵਰਾ ਹੈ, ਆਮ ਹੀ ਵਰਤਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਘਰਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਲੋਕੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਰਤਦੇ ਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸੋ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਹੈ, ਸਾਡੇ YouTube ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਵੀ ਕਰਨਾ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਕੰਗ੍ਰੈਚੁਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਿਆਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ $50 ਦਾ ਇਨਾਮ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਵਕਤ ਗੈਸਟ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ ਆ ਜੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕੱਲ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹਾਊਸਿੰਗ ਅਫੋਰਡੇਬਿਲਿਟੀ ਹੈ 14.5% ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਕੇ 62.5% ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਵਿਚ ਇਜ਼ ਦਾ ਹਾਈਐਸਟ ਇਨ ਡੈਕੇਡਸ। ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਹਾਲੇ ਕੋਈ ਰਸਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਮਕਾਨ ਬਾਏ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ, ਰੀਲਿੰਗ ਅੰਡਰ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਰ। ਦੂਸਰੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਕਈ ਮਿਊਨਿਸਪੈਲਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਕਾਨ ਲੈਣ ਲਈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਨਕਮ ਆ ਉਹ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 2 ਲੱਖ ਜਾਂ 2 ਲੱਖ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਚਲੀ ਗਈ। ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਮੇਜਰ ਸਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੀ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਕਟੋਰੀਆ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ, ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ, ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਬੈਂਚਮਾਰਕ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਤੇ ਮਕਾਨ ਖਰੀਦਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸ਼ਹਿਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਘੱਟੋ ਘੱਟ 2 ਲੱਖ ਤੇ 68,268,000 ਡਾਲਰ ਦੀ ਗ੍ਰਾਸ ਇਨਕਮ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਜੇ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਂਚਮਾਰਕ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ 1,89,000 ਦੇ ਅਰਾਊਂਡ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਮਕਾਨ ਖਰੀਦਣਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਘੱਟੋ ਘੱਟ 240,000 ਡਾਲਰ ਦੀ ਇਨਕਮ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕੱਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਮਿਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੁਰਾ ਜੀ ਜੁੜਨਗੇ ਐਬਟਸਫੋਰਡ ਤੋਂ, ਅੱਜ ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਵੈਨਸਡੇ ਨੂੰ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਦਾ ਬੈਂਚਮਾਰਕ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਐਜ਼ ਪਰ ਲੇਟੈਸਟ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੈਸ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਿ ਯਾਰ ਉਸ ਬੈਂਚਮਾਰਕ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ 268,000 ਦੀ ਇਨਕਮ ਤੇ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 1,89,000 ਡਾਲਰ ਦੇ ਬੈਂਚਮਾਰਕ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਦੀ ਮੌਰਗੇਜ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਨਕਮ 240,000, ਕੋਈ 28,000 ਦਾ ਗੈਪ ਹੈ। ਕਿ ਮੌਰਗੇਜ ਦੇ ਰੂਲਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿ ਕੁਆਲੀਫਾਈਂਗ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਟੇਰੀਆ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਆ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬੈਂਚਮਾਰਕ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ। ਇਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੁਰਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ, ਵੀ ਲਾਈਕ ਟੂ ਆਸਕ them this question। ਵਿਕਟੋਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਕਾਨ ਲੈਣ ਲਈ ਯੂ ਨੀਡ ਟੂ ਹੈਵ $216,000 ਇਨਕਮ, $216,000 ਇਨਕਮ ਟੂ ਬਾਈ ਏ ਹਾਊਸ ਇਨ ਵਿਕਟੋਰੀਆ। ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੇਸਿਕ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਿਨੀਮਮ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਾਊਸ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਈ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਿਲ 'ਚ ਪਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਮਕਾਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮਹਿਰੂਮ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਹੋਮਲੈਸ ਬਣ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ, ਆਪਣੇ ਹੋਮਸ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਜਬੂਰੀ 'ਚ ਵੇਚਣੇ ਪੈ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ, ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਿਕਲਣਾ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ। ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਅੱਗੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਗੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੇ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਮਕਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕੇ, ਉਹਦੇ ਖਰਚੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੂਰੇ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ, ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਹਿੱਲ ਗਿਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੌਰਗੇਜ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਣੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਵੀ ਡਿਸਟਰਬ ਹੋਣਾ। ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਡਿਸਟਰਬ ਹੋਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲੈਂਡਰ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੌਰਗੇਜ ਦੇਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਕੀ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੌਕਿਸ਼ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਵੇਟ ਲੈਂਡਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਰੇਟ ਆਫ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ 15 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ 25-30% ਤੱਕ ਲੱਗੇ ਆ। ਬੜੀ ਹੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਿਲ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਮਤਲਬ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮਕਾਨ ਹੱਥੋਂ ਨਿਕਲਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਿਕਲਣਾ। ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਸਲਾਹ ਦਊਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਕਾਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਮੌਰਗੇਜ ਲੈਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ 1000 ਵਾਰੀ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਕਰੋ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ। ਸਿਰਫ ਇਸ ਲਈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੈਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਜਾਣਾ, ਮਕਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਰੀਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ। ਇਹ ਉਹ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਕਾਰਡ ਦੀ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਡਿਲੇਡ ਆ, ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਾਈਨ ਆਫ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਓਵਰ ਪਈਆਂ, ਪੈਂਡਿੰਗ ਪਈਆਂ, ਪੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ, ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਸਟੋਰ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟ ਲੋਨ ਆ, ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਮਕਾਨ 'ਚ ਐਕੁਇਟੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਤਾਂ ਰੀਫਾਈਨੈਂਸ ਕਰਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿੰਪਲ ਇੰਸਟਾਲਮੈਂਟ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ 5.5% ਤੇ ਮਿਲ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ ਜੀ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ, ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਲੋਡ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਘੱਟ ਕਾਸਟ ਪੈਣੀ ਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇੱਕੋ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕੋ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਜਾਣੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਕਿ ਜੀ ਮੌਰਗੇਜ ਦੀ ਪੇਮੈਂਟ 2 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ 1 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਇੱਕ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਕਾਰਡ 15 ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਪੇ ਆਫ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ, ਦੂਜਾ 18 ਨੂੰ ਪੇ ਆਫ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ, ਲਾਈਨ ਆਫ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਦੀ 20 ਤਰੀਕ ਆ। ਜਦੋਂ ਅੱਡੋ ਅੱਡ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੇਮੈਂਟਾਂ ਨਿਕਲਦੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਵੈਰੀ ਡਿਫਿਕਲਟ ਟੂ ਮੈਨੇਜ ਯੋਰ ਬਜਟ ਐਂਡ ਯੋਰ ਇਨਕਮ। ਸੋ ਇਟਸ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜੇ ਇੱਕੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਯਾਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਇੰਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਫਲਾਣੀ ਤਰੀਕ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣੇ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਘੱਟ ਚਾਂਸ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਡਿਫਾਲਟ ਕਰੋਗੇ। ਸੋ ਆਓ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜੀਏ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਸੂਰਾ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ 'ਚ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਤੇ
Good
Amrit
morning.
sir, welcome ji.
How are you doing today?
Life is very good, sir. How is the gas
Yeah.
price in Vancouver, your area?
So gas price, I never really pay attention because I don't drive a gas guzzler anymore.
Oh,
But it is,
so you are EV guy, electronic vehicle.
yeah. So, but there's the lowest at Super Save in the Vancouver area is 152.9.
Oh, I
Okay.
got my gas as 129 from Costco gas station the other day.
Oh wow.
We have 135 here. You want me to send some gallons of gas there?
For
By
a 20-cent
UPS?
profit. Yeah. I mean, hey, it might cost a little more than 20 cents to distribute it here, right?
But who cares?
Yeah, so I believe that there's a cold front coming in on into Toronto there.
And guess
We've
what
had a
happened today? Um,
snowstorm?
my furnace broke down.
No.
Yeah,
Oh my
the
goodness.
floors are cold. I woke up to a very cold floor today, and I placed calls to Enercare to come and have a look at my furnace. This is a very old furnace, 14 years old furnace.
Okay.
And I think this is mid efficiency. So they are coming in. There were no high efficiency furnace at that time. I'm talking about
Wow.
2007, 2008. So it's a very cold morning for us today.
So you have heated floors.
Not heated floor, but the house, when it is warm, the floors don't stay cold.
Oh, okay.
They get
Okay.
acclimatized to the same temperature as the house. But now it is really cold. We are at 19 degrees. We're still better. It's still okay, but the temperature is not going up. Like I set my thermostat to 27 degrees, hoping that
Right.
19 will turn to 21 at least. It was at 24 degrees, but temperature stayed below 19 degrees since morning, or maybe last couple days, but I never looked at it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think someone is going to take a big chunk of cash from my bank today.
Well, you know, the service providers have to get you going. So that's the benefit of being of having the ability to call and get the service. In some countries, you'd be waiting months, right?
Oh wow. Wow.
So we're
Anyways,
actually very, yeah.
so we were looking at affordability, and RBC report said that affordability has gone up by 14.5%. That is a lot. And now it is at 62.7. This is the third quarter report of the RBC housing affordability measures in Canada.
Yes.
Right? And the ownership costs have really skyrocketed. They are touching nearly 70% for single detached. For aggregate all kind of houses, we are looking at 62-63%. Or 60, yeah, probably 63%. The one they gave the number 62.7%, and this is too much. And condo apartments affordability is around 43%, more or less. This is where we are. And
So yeah,
then
again, you know,
we need a lot of money to qualify, like $268,000 to buy a house in Vancouver at their HPI benchmark prices. Do you know what's HPI benchmark price in Vancouver now?
the home price index in Vancouver.
You know what's the benchmark? Like in Toronto, it's $1,089,000.
So they're looking at $1,131 here in
Million
Vancouver.
$131,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is
Yeah, I
slightly
mean,
higher than us. Slightly higher
yes,
than we're at
sure.
89, you are at 1,121,000, so $30,000
131.
difference, more or less.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
but you
why
got to
we
also
need,
remember,
for that small difference, we need 28,000 more to qualify in your area.
right.
That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. Trust me, people are reeling under a lot of stress. And I know some families who are finding it extremely difficult making their mortgage payments. And they're crying, and it was crazy.
So getting to that point, I mean, they've got to go to their lender and ask for some relief options, right?
Well, one of the person I
Certainly.
know, they did go to Vancouver. Sorry, they didn't go to lender, and lender refused. He said, "Well, the payment is due on this date. That's it. Period.
Mhm.
If you do not make payment, then we will send the files to the lawyer, and it
Mhm.
won't stop you from living in the house, but that's how it is. Things are becoming really choppy for many people. So we don't know where people will go out because they probably never thought about this situation, and they are not to blame. It's just the economics that has made things so hard for them.
Right. I think certainly the bank, having done what they did over the last couple of years, um, their primary aim is to make money on lending, right? So
Yeah,
they incentivize lending to start, and they get over frenzied market,
yeah,
and now some people are over leveraged. Now, maybe there are some scenarios where uh, you know questionable service providers gave them different options, and they took the leap of faith because
yeah,
of fear of missing out.
yeah.
The unfortunate thing is nobody's looking out for you at any point, whatever market there is. You have to you have to take into account everything that is upcoming. At the end of the day, it's it's the misguidance that has put some people into pressure. Now let's look at the impact that it's going to make. I mean, are we
Mm-hmm.
going to see the result immediately? I
Yeah,
think people will start to cut off certain spending in order
mm-hmm.
to make things work.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
are already doing it.
maybe getting rid of that second car, or if you have three cars, you're going to get rid of one of them.
Yeah. Well, they
Um,
are already doing that kind of stuff. They're
mhm.
doing whatever they can, but payments have gone really up. Payments have touched close to $4,000. I spoke with CIBC Bank yesterday, and I asked them that how much would be the payment at 20% down payment under their high net worth program for $850,000 home. And she told me it is close to $4,400 a month.
Mhm.
So add property tax on top, let's say $250 minimum property tax is. It will be slightly more. I will say $350. So now it is
Mhm.
4750. Then add utilities cost to the property, which can be 350 again. So 4750 plus 350 more will take us to how much was that? Close over $5,100. And then add minor repairs off and on. Let's
Mhm.
say add $100 a month for the whole year split, right? and then add your property insurance, which could be anywhere between $120 to $150 a month. So you have to come up with about $5,500 of recurring payment every month. Average salary of Canadians is about 60 to 70 grand.
Mm-hmm.
So if two family members are earning, we are okay that one income completely goes into making payment. It even falls short of making payments, or it just covers the mortgage and living expenses. It is really hard for people to afford that kind of money. And those people, a few months back, like in February, January this year, were only paying around $2,800, $2,400. The payments have literally doubled up.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very hard for those people to survive in the current mortgage conditions. It's very hard. Trust me, it's painful to see those people crying.
So what's the solution?
Well, no solution in sight right now, unfortunately. People, they probably will have to sell their homes. That's the only solution that I can see right now.
Sell their homes at a loss, or
At a loss, it's a stress sale, and this is where they have to be. Nobody can make anything for them. Nothing good can come out of it. But this is how things are moving right now, and I am witness to a couple family scenarios, and they are thinking how they will do it. But anyways, so now you told me that the benchmark price in Vancouver is $1,121,000. That's why we need this much kind of money to qualify. And in Ottawa, you need $150,000 for the minimum basic house there. In Montreal, you need $127,000 gross income to qualify. Calgary, you need $123,000. Halifax, you need $116,000. Edmonton, $99,000. And then Saskatoon, $89,000. Regina, you need $79,000. St. John, you need $74,000. And then St. John, there are two St. John and Johns. Are they two different areas? So one needs $74,000, one needs $77,000, and I have no other details about the amortization of these amounts. So I will be back in a second. You carry on with the conversation.
Mm-hmm. So again, looking ahead, I think we need to really make sure that the qualification is being done in the right manner. Maybe having the option of a small footprint of home as opposed to going for a single family detached, or maybe an apartment, start in an apartment or a townhouse, just so you're out of the rental market and not committed to making rental payments, as opposed to having the ability to take a mortgage, go into a smaller abode for the meantime, and then work up from there. I mean, other options are people who are currently renting, and you have the option of having a down payment, get into a pre-sale option, and make sure that you're getting all the bells and whistles for an apartment or a townhouse. Mm-hmm. And then once you get to the stage, you'll see some appreciation because it's brand new. It comes with the home warranties, and then you're able to really benefit from realized gain, because 5 years or 10 years from the time you bought it, you will see some appreciation. Now, the downward trend and the financial impact currently caused purely by the banks and the central bank. Um, you know, obviously, if we go back into history, that these things have happened, and there will be a sharp incline moving up.
Yeah.
So, the pain, is it short term? I don't think it is short term. I think people got to have a view of, let me uh, be ready to undertake the worst case scenario. If people project 6 months, make it a year, right? So you have to you have to be like a squirrel
Yes.
and take your bag of resource and shelter it,
Yes.
downsize. There's different countries in the world where a lot of people, when they see the size of houses we have here, a standard home on a nice big lot, it's substantial.
We'll continue with
The
the
other
communicate with this talk. Amrit will come back after a short break. Give them a call today, 416-213-8600. Are you looking for reliable immigration services? If yes, contact Sukhi Paul at 647-296-4575 or office phone number 905-790-8877. They are located at 219-220 at 7956 Torban Road. It's right at the intersection of Torban Road and Steeles Avenue West. Contact them for all kind of visa services. Are you the breadwinner for your family? Have you ever considered if something were to happen to you, what would happen to your wife, to your children, to your parents? If not, this is the time to call Kamaljeet Bhola at 647-772-1481. She is an amazing insurance advisor working with Beyond Care Insurance Solutions in Brampton, Ontario. Find out what best you can do your family while you can. Do not put this thing off till tomorrow. This could be very, very critical for your family's future. Are you thinking of a career change or adding another one to your portfolio? Well, you are thinking right. Call Sarabjit Luddar at 416-879-3039 from Beyond Care Insurance Solutions. She also deals in life, long-term, travel, critical illness, disability insurance. Give her a call today at 416-879-3039. This is what we can tell you. She will always give you the right advice and help you find out if being an insurance advisor is your piece of cake. Are you thinking to sell your home and are concerned about depreciating values? Don't be. You are in safe hands with Paul Cheema. Call me at 647-333-2273. I ensure safety of your home with electronic lock boxes. Nobody can enter your house without permission from our brokerage, and we provide full detail if needed at any point in time. Once again, Paul Cheema, 647-333-2273. Better call Paul and get moving. Do you want to shop right without burning your pockets? If yes, please visit Monisha Discount Warehouse at 377 Burnhamthorpe Road, East Mississauga, Ontario. They are the best. They have all kind of Indian, Pakistani and other local stuff that you can buy at literally throwaway prices. Contact them at 905-361-0773. Monisha Discount Warehouse. D.P. Jain is a well-known name in the fields of accounting. You can contact him today at his cell number 416-305-0080 or his office number 905-790-9327. Once you start working with him, You will never want to leave him. He is 5-star professional. Call him today. DP Jain Professional Corporation. PC24-RETV is heard over so many different channels. If you want to promote your business for free, call me at 647-333-2273. You can also send your artwork to contact@paulcheema.com. We are here to be partners in your business success. 647-333-2273. Welcome back to PC24's today's broadcast. We are speaking with a top realtor from Abbotsford, BC. His name is Amrit Sura, and discussing the market, how people are reeling under pressure while making payments for their mortgages because of the heightened interest rates and very hard economic condition. So for this kind of situation, what can you do? What you're thinking? How should the government respond to this scenario? Who is at fault? Are people at fault who were totally unaware of how the things are moving, where the market is leading to? They were given tons and tons of incentives. Many times the appraisals were omitted when giving approvals for mortgages. But now, with the changed condition, they don't want to fund a deal unless appraisal is done. And appraisal is not done within the 5 days of conditional period when you submit an offer or your offer is accepted, but the appraisals are being conducted a few days before closing date. So if the closing date was 3 months down the lane and the problem now comes in 3 months the market has shifted down. Every month reducing by about 1.5% to 3%, somewhere in between. And now someone who bought a house 4 months back with 3 months closing, and they now have to come up with remainder cash to cover up the gap. Is this fair? Before, in early times, they used to do appraisal within the 5 customary days, but the houses were appreciating by 8%, 10%, 15% over the last couple of years. The downturn started after February this year, and now people, they need some kind of support, some kind of empathy to live in their homes, and there has to be some means to help them out. Government keeps on spending millions and millions of dollars for refugees worldwide, and I'm not saying they are doing something wrong, but what about their own people who are Canadian citizens and they have to be homeless now because they cannot make payments? How fair is that? Can government not throw some money in to help those people or give some relaxation? I know this is a very intricate topic. Nobody is going to take full responsibility about this, but hey, people are suffering. One of family I met a few days back, the lady said, "Paul, don't be surprised if you hear news of me committing suicide," and that was so sad. I have to call the suicide helpline so they could talk to her, and I did speak to her for a long time in trying to calm her down, and I was successful. Everything is okay now, but I did call the suicide helpline. You should do the same. If you see someone in distress, they need someone to listen to their side of story, because that helps a lot. You need these kind of helplines. But anyways, I will tell you this, that the inflation rate has come down a bit, not much, a bit. I would call it insignificant. It was 6.9 in October. It is 6.84 in November. If 0.1 you think makes a lot of difference, then be it. But I don't think that is too much. What do you think about inflation rate, Amrit?
Well, I think to correlate the Christmas spending at the present time, because it's a season where a lot of people are out spending on gifts and hosting parties or whatever it is that they're doing for some celebration. I don't think it's come down as much as it would have if it was just a regular month.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have been 0.5%. Maybe we'll see the result of it by end of January.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, people have to be cautious. And buying in the height is going to put a lot of stress on a lot of people. And for that reason, I mean, the bank has put people in that scenario. They qualified them. They should have some relaxation, like you said. And even talking about, you said you had a conversation where somebody went to the bank and said, "Oh, you have to make the payment." Well,
Yeah.
you have to. You really have to try and exercise at the highest level in order to save yourself.
Well,
Right?
people don't have access to the highest level. It's really hard when you say that, because there are so many red tapes in between. It's really difficult to reach the top. But saying that my lawyer will take care of the next steps is so absurd, so ridiculous, that they can't even defer the payments. I know someone who is selling their home and they're asking for deferment of payment till the house is sold, but they don't agree to that. The bank just said, no, you can sell it, but we are not going to budge.
Right.
What
So
maximum
in that
can you do?
scenario, if they miss the payments
Yeah,
and
it
the
will
home
trigger a
sells,
penalty.
and then
It,
at completion, they would pay that
yes.
penalty.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when the house sells, they will definitely pay the penalty. Right now,
Yeah.
the house is on the market. These people
Right.
have to understand that the person is trying to make payments, but they need a break. Give them a break. Okay, say, okay, you know what, we understand it. You are in tough situation, but you are trying to do the good thing. Okay, go ahead, do it. But this is so ridiculous, just saying, no, we are not going to help you out. Why were you so lenient giving them approvals in the first place? Had you been as tight as you are now, nobody would have been in this situation. And they were not even looking at the document that were fraudulent, and they just closed their eyes, they just looked the other way, and they kept approved, because that it was 1.5% or less than 1%, and the banks were throwing money out like crazy. Now suddenly from February to now, we are 4.25% higher in the rates. It is crazy. It's unbelievable.
So those are on-ground situations where a lot of people, obviously, they don't know that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So I think the policymakers need to really take a deep dive into what next policies are going to be put in place, because, like you said, it's going to really impact the growth of Canadians who are living paycheck to paycheck, right?
Absolutely.
So downsizing is going to be an option. People have to look at less square footage and make commitments to something which is substantially less than what they would have thought that their home would be.
Yeah.
So,
and Bank of Canada is still ready to be very forceful. They don't care. They say, we'll do whatever we have to do. So will inflation help them? I don't think so. Although we are still way higher than the target rate of 2%. 4.8% above this.
If you take a look back at your time in India, India historically has had high inflation rates, correct? So
We even
the nation,
we never knew what inflation was there.
right?
There we used to call it as ਮਹਿੰਗਾਈ ਦੀ ਦਰ, ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਯਾਰ ਮਹਿੰਗਾਈ ਦੀ ਦਰ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ. It never affected us. We never felt that. But ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ coming here we see a lot. Like look at the food, gasoline prices. I think this is about gasoline price that rose 13.7% in November after rising 17.8% in October. This is where we are right now. Things are very tough for many families, and I hope something better comes for those people. It is hard to survive in the current conditions.
So
Keep
the
saying amen to
institutions,
that.
yeah. So institutions are certainly making money in the downturn,
Yeah.
whereas people are paying for the money that the institutions are making. So, where does it leave? Where does it leave the majority of, let's look at Canadians in the next 10 years? It's going to be corporate entities buying up houses, buying out apartments, and people are going to be renting, right?
Yeah.
So rent.
Oh well, this is already there. We are now becoming a nation of renters.
Mhm.
So the renters that rose at a very high pace versus people who own. I think people who own the houses were only about 8% increase, if I'm not wrong. But the renters became, like, the number increased to, I guess, 5 million from 4.1 many years back. I think in 20, I forgot the date. I had explained those dates a few days back, but the rents have really gone very high. For one bedroom now is $2,000.
So that's a one bedroom independent unit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's another thing. Let's challenge the normal scenario. Okay, we have a single family living in a house, but they have a few bedrooms, right? So maybe taking some space downstairs in order to have somebody stay there with you, like a tenant. Find a way of utilizing the house in order to generate some of that payment money needed, right?
Yeah.
So across the board, what ended up happening here in BC about the stratas, the condominiums, meaning townhouses or apartments, they're now able to rent them out. So say, for example, you have a 2-bedroom condominium, right?
Yeah.
Previously, there were some restrictions for rentals.
Yes.
If you're occupying one bedroom and using the other bedroom as storage, then let's clear out the storage, okay? And take the $800 a month to rent that room out. Have a shared, live-in scenario. I go to, I've been to many countries where you'll see all different types of people that live within the same house or apartment.
Okay.
Okay, try and utilize what you have, even if it's a matter of, okay, you're thinking, okay, no, I don't want to stoop to this. Having a co-houser, a co-housing mate or a roommate.
Yeah.
It is important that we utilize what's available. I go to temple every morning, but I used to go inside every morning, and there's a bulletin board on where people have haves and wants, right? So go to your local church Go to your local masjid. Go to your local shrine, wherever it is where communities congregate.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who is like you may know someone who requires they require somewhere to live, but they can't afford a full apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So rent your room. Rent your room out, I
Yeah,
mean,
well, this is what people are going to do now. They are going to rent rooms. That's all we are looking at now. It has
mhm.
become extremely difficult for people to survive in the current market. So CPI is 6.8%, and I'm not sure how this is going to help people. This simply doesn't cut it. It is too much inflation yet. And the banks have clearly mentioned this, Feds as well as our Bank of Canada, that they would not hesitate to go higher if inflation expectations remain strong. Anyway, so how are the new build-ups in your neighborhood, my friend?
So new builds, obviously, they also took a downturn as far as the price parameter comparative to the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going to be upcoming would be priced fairly, right?
Yeah.
Should be priced affordably in order for people to take their best foot forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people do have savings as tenants, right?
Yeah.
They've put away some money and they're saving for a house. Then they get hit by a roadblock when they go to the bank and they say, okay, well, what are my options? Well, your options are, like you described, 6,000 or 5,500 a month. Well, let's not take that deep a dive. Stay in your rental. Make commitment to a developer and get qualified, making sure that you're able to qualify
Mm-hmm.
and get into the position where you're going to be in a new property, which will see some gains in the future.
Hunger Games.
Gains. So
Games, okay.
we'll
Okay. It's a
so
game.
we'll we'll see. We'll certainly see. I mean, if you look at it in that sense of things, yes, you've got to weigh the options very well.
Yeah,
You
I
need
know.
shelter. People who are making $100,000, $200,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
um, if they're renting, then make sure you're putting away money to make sure that you're able to get into the position of completion for
Yeah.
that pre-sale purchase. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to see things through rose-colored glasses. The
Yeah.
direct impact of the absolute misguidedness of the Bank of Canada and the bankers,
Mm-hmm.
like it's unfathomable that they're not supporting who is making them the billions. And the government of Canada has to take a back seat from
Yeah.
overspending in other parts of the world,
You're right.
right? So at the end of the day, we're seeing it on ground zero. This is ground zero, right?
Yeah, we
Day to
see
day.
people, and we also see that many of them who bought house in January, February this year, and whose mortgages were private mortgages, they couldn't qualify otherwise. Some people had mismanaged accounting, like they didn't file their income tax properly, even though they make tons of money, but they have nothing to show to the bank. Some people who were working cash, but they couldn't prove it to the bank. Those people, they, you know, lean to get mortgage from private lenders. That is on 1 year term. And now the year has come up for renewal. The house values, which was 780 before, is now around 600. And now they have no cash to bring on table to keep their loan to value 80% or under that. Now they are blaming their realtor, saying, oh, he knew everything, she knew everything, they didn't advise us. But till March or April, nobody ever knew that this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The usual way of rent increase was 25 basis points every announcement. So people get a wind of what's coming up, and they could shift their mortgage from variable to fixed mortgage. They have time to think. But suddenly, right. Bank of Canada did 3 jumps in one announcement, 4 jumps in one announcement, and it put them into a situation where they cannot continue. Now so they say, oh, my realtor screwed me up. He made his own money while screwing us up. This was not the right thing. This was not the truth. People are adult people. They check everything before they sign on dotted line. Okay, I am going to buy this house at this cost. And not only that, the lawyers, they explain the entire terminology to the homeowners, that you are paying this much interest, you have to give them a call by this time. Not only that, these people who got funding from private lenders, they also signed what you call, Paul Cheema, where is your memory? Independent legal advice, ILA or ILR. Independent legal advice or independent legal representation. It is required by most of the lenders. They want to make sure the borrower has read all the terms and conditions before signing. And now it's convenient for them to say, oh, my realtor screwed me over to make his money. But when they were signing, the love signs were flickering in their eyes. And they even could go to the extent of smooching their realtor at that time when they get the keys.
So, for
like this.
Basically, yeah. So for each 100,000, based on the increases, are you talking about $425 for every 100,000 of an increased payment?
Well, when the last increase was done, like 50 basis point, so I forgot what rate it was, but they said for 25-year amortization, $100,000 at the current rate of 5.5% would amount to $25 increase per $100,000 monthly. Okay. The monthly increase they calculated, and shelter prices have gone very up. It is because of mortgage cost and rent. Price for shelter plus 7.2% rose at a faster pace year over year in November due to upward pressures from the mortgage interest cost and rent indexes. Anyways, it's a lot of talking on these topics. We can talk all we want, but the time will not permit us to continue. We are at 10:29 a.m. and we'll have to take leave from the audience. If you need any assistance from our BC partner, Mr. Amrit Sura, please feel free to give him a call. His phone number is 778-999-1531. Give him a shout and get moving. Wind up your stuff. And hey, BC is getting a lot of snow these days, huh?
We had about 15 to 16 inches.
Shoot.
Yeah.
How often that happen?
Once or twice a year.
Really? We are expecting a snowstorm this weekend. It's always weekend.
That's coming from here.
Ah, so you are sending it to us.
Yeah, and then there was flight delays, right? So
There will be
people
flight delays
stranded.
this weekend. The weather will be very tricky, and isn't that Christmas Eve?
Yeah,
It is 24th is Saturday, 25
exactly.
is Sunday. So I have open house on 24 and 25. Worst days to hold an open house because 24 is Christmas Eve, 25th is Christmas, 26th is, I guess, Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do
So
boxing. But anyways,
if you have an open house on those days, then it's definitely a buyer that wants to buy for sure, right?
absolutely, that's how it is. ਸੋ ਵਿਲ ਟੇਕ ਲੀਵ ਪਰ ਜਾਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੁੱਖ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਜੀ ਗਵਾ ਲਿਆ ਜੀ। ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਵਿਛੜੀ ਰੂਹ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਕਤ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਸਦਮੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਿਕਲ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਾਂਗ ਚਲਾ ਸਕੋ। ਆਗਿਆ ਦਿਓ। ਕੱਲ ਥਰਸਡੇ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਕੱਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ 8 ਵਜੇ ਤੋਂ 9 ਵਜੇ ਤੱਕ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੋਵੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਲਾਈਨਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਖੁੱਲੀਆਂ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜੀ। 6478001518। ਦੂਸਰੀ ਲਾਈਨ ਹੈਗੀ 6479561020। Give us a call at these numbers and we will be there for you। ਤਦ ਤੱਕ